Welcome back, everyone. Good to be back. I apologize for the last episode, or the one that I got mixed up. I've been learning the ropes consistently. I just started about a week ago with crafting and everything, and I have a few things to say. I'll probably make a separate video about healing magic, or rather the lack thereof. But as you can see, I'm using regen potions now, and a lot of the stuff would have been not easier, but certainly more manageable without it. But I am playing on Nightmare, albeit without friendly fire. But the Mage / Templar stuff was tough, really tough. And I've learned more about crafting, about weapon. You can see, check out right over there. I have both apprentice, the legs and the arms covered with apprentice arms. Doesn't really look good on her, but it does give me a boost to magic and willpower and defense. So I've learned the crafting as well as the hafts, putting on staves and what have you. You can see that right there's a haft, and so on and so forth. And yeah, regen potions have turned out to be quite useful. Briefly, the reason a couple of people asked, I don't upload at 60p, 60 FP frame rates, because I can't. I'm turned up to ultra. I'm lucky if I get 30 to 35 frame rates, and in places like the Storm Coast where it's raining, it sometimes dips slightly below 30. And I have an 880 NVIDIA, and it's the best graphics card you can get on a laptop, and it's just really demanding. So I don't think it's that important for a non-shooter game to have 60 FPS. That's my own opinion. But anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk to the different people after recapping, after seeing what the reactions are to forging a Mage Alliance. Now, mind you, telling you what's going through Corvina's mind, she's not someone who feels necessarily kinship with the mages. She's always kind of felt out of place, but she realized that politically it's probably a better decision to gain an alliance with the mages rather than forcing them into servitude. And I don't think she would want to force mages into servitude, even though she doesn't feel kinship. So let's first see what Cassandra has to say.
And what are we supposed to do, exactly?
What you always do. Complain.
We've already spoken with Commander Cullen. No one listens. We want better quarters. We want the Templars kept at a distance. And some respect for...
This is not the Circle. You mages are our allies, not our wards. Act like it.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Fighting with them will only make them more stubborn.
The mages are here as equals. They need to get used to what that means. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
You would have done differently, I suppose.
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
That's a lopsided compliment.
Just remember that after the breach is closed.
I will not forget. Though I cannot speak for others.
Lopsided compliment from Cassandra. Cassandra. See what the bull has to say about it.
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
The things magic can do are fascinating.
Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
Apparently, Bull didn't like that. But that's what I thought. See what Blackwall has to say.
Heard you found something that had to do with wardens. Would have liked to have seen it. I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
The Inquisition must do many things to gain support.
Of course, you would have considered every angle, every advantage. You are a formidable woman, my lady. I hope never to cross you. Perhaps it's safer to show admiration from afar.
I can flirt a little bit, why not?
I would never have guessed that you admire me.
Of course I do. You have the world at your feet, myself included.
Wow. He's just throwing himself up.
At my feet? I could get used to having you there.
You were the Herald of Andraste. Any man would be honored to kneel before you.
Oh, God.
Now,
That's
we
nauseating.
should return to our duties before I get too carried away.
I think I'll leave it off for there.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's very flirtatious, evidently. Let's see what Cullen has to say.
The mages are ready to approach the breach. I pray this will be enough to close it.
There is but one God, and he is our maker.
You weren't happy with how I brought in the mages. Do you have a problem with me as well?
Of course not. I have no intention of endangering your alliance. I must ensure the safety of those here. That concern extends to the mages. They are putting themselves at risk for the Inquisition, as are you. Any precautions taken are meant to aid you, nothing more. I hope you will accept them as such.
That's
Okay.
all for now.
Should you require anything, I'll be here.
Particularly interested to see what Solus has to say about the Alliance. Like I said, the Alliance was not born of pure sympathy so much as pragmatism. I mean, it's easier... I think I missed Varric. Where did Varric go? Oh, he's up there. It's easier to gain people's trust and compliance without forcing them into compliance, I think. So that's what was going through her mind.
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But red lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
We can't know what's coming. Best not to get too comfortable.
I can't disagree with that. But maybe you should try to relax while you can. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know.
Of course, the Seeker would know. Oh, loot. I'll show you some of the new gear I've managed to pick up for my companions before I jaunt off into the wilderness. I do want to talk to Solus and Dorian.
When you spend your days,
See what Solus has to say.
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel. Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
I know what I saw. It was real.
What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witnessed.
Most people have trouble wrapping their heads around the idea.
I'm not most people.
I appreciate you talking with me about it. And not being most people.
If you wish me to speak of Elysian fashion, I may be at a loss. Magical surprises I can handle. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
Interesting conversation. I really like Solus. I mean, Corvino likes Solus, but I like him as a person as well. I don't know the hows, the wheres, and the wherefores. I do know who the Elder One is. It was pretty obvious. I kind of guessed it at the very beginning of the game. If those of you don't know, I'm not going to spoil it, but the details I don't know, and I'm going to keep those spoilers safe. How and why, and how he's going about it, and what have you. I've not talked to Dorian at all, so let's see what Dorian has to say.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Halamsharal? Cows milking farmers?
There was no other choice.
Oh, there were definitely other choices. You picked the one that'll shock the children. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given Southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
I don't believe that.
It's true. The conditions here are different. Southern mages aren't used to ruling. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
Interesting.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Not yet, no. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
If he's in the cells, I think I know where the cells are in the main building. I'm gonna check out what he has to say if he's there.
You're Dalish? Is that the correct word here?
You're more accustomed to slave, I take it.
We don't have Dalish clans coming northward, for obvious reasons. So I've never met one of your people before, although I've heard about them. A little. I hope this won't be an issue between us. I am here to help you deal with the Venatori, after all.
Don't give me cause to make it an issue.
As you wish.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
Let's move on, shall we?
I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten.
We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems... So much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care. Deeply. About everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope,
No subjunctive.
I wouldn't miss it so much.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
Fair enough.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
I should go.
Naturally.
I'll skip the part about the Imperium. Dalish elf mage, unlikely to get along with the Imperium. What does Vivienne have to say about the Mage Alliance? Very curious.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
I mean, she's making a fair point.
Train our people, but keep it a secret. Let the mages think they're not being watched.
I like the way you think, darling. I'll have a word with Cullen. We are reliant on his people, absolutely. There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
You have a low opinion of your fellow mages.
It's not so much an opinion as grasping the obvious. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
The Dalish get along just fine without Templars or Circle Towers.
As I understand it, the elves limit their risk by refusing to have more than 3 mages in a clan. Tell me, what becomes of the Dalish youngster who is not appointed first or second?
If you want to say something about the Dalish, say it.
For those who value survival, sentimentality is not an option. Tell me something. You said once that you wanted to change things. What future would you build for mages?
Well, if I only have 3 choices, or she does, we don't need... Certainly don't believe in the circle. Mages in the Chantry, no.
Mages should be treated like anybody else.
How free did you feel living on the run, never straying too close to villages or staying in one place too long?
Oh, we're going to get along
Paint
really
the cage
well.
any color you like. It is still a cage. It's something to consider, my dear.
I think she's going to despise me almost as much as Cassandra does.
The Inquisition
She's
appreciates your assistance.
very much a traditional
And my...
mage, circle mage. Had I played a different kind of character, we would have got along fabulously. If I were a rogue, I could open that. So he's in the cells, apparently. That's what we're told. I don't see him, though. Alexius, are you here? Nope. I guess you're in different cells. I mean, but this is the nature of role-playing. Should I decide to do another different Let's Play of this game, I'm going to play a very different character with different attitudes. You know, I'm not playing Stardusk. This is completely Corvina. So, if she butts heads with Vivienne and Cassandra, that's because that's her nature and her personality.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by
It's a
the end of
dwarf.
the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement. The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Turn in some research
The
first.
apothecary would like to know
We will
why you
study
need so
that.
much death row.
To do my job.
Oh, I'll just tell him that,
The
Enchanter.
blessing upon his parents and onto the maiden.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who is she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corpin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated.
Good.
We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
The Chantry couldn't solve its own problems when it had a divine.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Clipping.
Andrastes' chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
Are you sure? Families often fight the hardest.
Having grown up among four siblings, I concede your point. I found, however, that the only time two parties cannot negotiate is when they cease to speak. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Thedas.
The Inquisition is only here to seal the breach. Nothing more.
We've become more than that by helping the mages. The powers have taken notice. Speaking of which, I have a question, if you've the time. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you
poppycock.
reply?
I'd tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get some action going here. First, I want to collect some rewards, have my board members do their jobs. So first, let's see. Now, I made the mistake in a separate playthrough as well as this.
garnering interest from the capital.
Good.
You're not pleased?
I am not convinced we are prepared for the full scrutiny of Val Royeaux.
I went into both the Magus and Templar situation in another playthrough too prematurely. I needed more levels. I've leveled up to level 10, but I want to level up to level 11, maybe even 12 before proceeding. And so I'm going to be doing some exploration as well as grinding. Some of the grinding I'll document, and some I won't. But need coin. Coin is good. So we'll get our coin master,
At
mistress.
your service.
see what else we got in terms of... What's this? Influence, okay. Well, if there are things to there are things to be done in Orlais as well. Spindleweed. It's not much of a reward. Chantry remains.
Let's see what we have.
And finally, no. Means Cullen is kind of without cause at the moment. Anyway, what I want to do is explore the... I think this is the Mire, yeah, marshy regions. Yeah, so let's see what this is like. Haven't been here before in this playthrough. Venture forth. Now I've decided on the party members I'm taking. I'm going to stick with Varric throughout the game, I think, because Varric is a guy, a friend to all, enemy to none. He generally gets along with everyone. He's funny, and I found some nice... I'll show you all the equipment I got, some upgrades for Bianca, as well as some nice armor. And he's just doing very well as a DPS from range, so guy. And he just... I like his personality. I mean, it's hard to be against Varric. He's just a cool guy, and he's a dwarf too, and I like dwarves, so... Solus is obvious. I like Solus personally as Stardusk, and I think Corvina has a romantic inclination as well as a friendship inclination towards Solus, and he's very knowledgeable and philosophically inclined. So, and he is our protector mage, our barrier, keep everyone alive mage, and Iron Bull. I chose it for role-playing reasons. Iron Bull is kind of ruthless for the most part, and he's very direct, and I think, for better or worse, that kind of suits the personality of Corvina as a warrior. The others are just too... I mean, obviously she clashes, butts heads with Cassandra, so that just doesn't work. And Blackwall is a good-natured guy, but he's maybe too soft-hearted. I think Iron Bull's more of the kind of guy who's willing to take the decisions that need to be taken. And I built him actually as a tank hybrid, but you'll see. So yeah, let's go for it.
Thank you for coming. Maybe you can solve this mess. Our missing patrols are being held hostage by Avar, barbarians from the mountains.
What are they doing in a bog?
That's the thing. Their leader, he wants them to fight you, because you're the Herald of Andraste.
What do they have against Andraste?
Well, the Avar think there are gods in nature, as in the sky has a god and the forest. The Avar say you're claiming to be sent by one, and they'll challenge the will of your god with their own. I think their leader's just a boastful little prick who wants to brag he killed you.
I've survived demons. I think I can handle myself against some southern barbarians.
Yeah, you'd think. But they're a brawny bunch. Getting to our troops won't be easy. You'll have to fight your way through undead. Wait, you're not squeamish about undead, are you?
There are any corpses possessed by spirits?
Right. Nothing to fear. The Avar are holed up in the castle on the other side of the Fallow Mire. Make her willing, the Inquisition's people are still alive.
Okay. Fallow Mire. So, what do we got going here? As you can see, everyone in the party, and this is the party I'll probably be sticking with. I like the setup. Got some very nice, so I got, there you go, the apprentice legs and arms. Kind of ugly, but they give me some nice stats. Some nice superior armor chant. I've discovered, or rather I've come to the conclusion that even though this is a really powerful staff, which I found during the Mage quest, it's cold and there are a lot of damage. A lot of enemies resistant to frost. Electricity damage seems to be pretty neutral. There are very few enemies I've encountered that are resistant to it. They don't have a special weakness to it, but they can still take them out with it. So it's good to have different kinds of staves. So yeah, she's got some nice stuff. I put some, definitely put some halves. So you can see Varric looks very cool in his armor. Bianca's got some nice upgrades, as you can see. She's got the arms, 3 precise sights, and yeah, I mean, it's doing a lot of damage. She's doing a lot of damage. And then if you check out his armor, it's really nice. I got the Ferelden Scout. Okay, sorry. The Absorb. No, what is he wearing? No. What am I wearing? Oh yeah, this is what I'm wearing. Yeah, there we go. Very high armor protection, and so it looks really good on him too. Looks cool. Solus kind of looks weird in his outfit, but it's not bad. The Enchanter mail, it's pretty decent. More importantly, his weapon. He has two different. He has the Frost, but I have a feeling undead are going to be resistant to cold, obviously, and so I gave him. I crafted. No, I bought a fire staff rather. This is fire staff. It does have a haft, which I think I put on it. I'm not sure. And then Iron Bull. As I said, I've turned him into a tank hybrid. I'll show you the specs in a bit. I think he looks really cool, even though he's traditionally a two-handed warrior. But I think he looks pretty badass with a shield and a sword. I found some nice schematics for a very powerful. I mean, that's high DPS for a one-handed weapon, 128 at this level. So, and it gives you Constitution strength bonus. So quite nice, very powerful sword. The shield is quite good too. More health, more strength, and it looks really cool, as well as the armor. Let's have a look at the armor. Masterwork Vanguard armor. Extra health, more defense, more stamina, and just really good protection. And he looks really cool, and it looks like a gladiator. Now, as far as the specs are concerned, I've gotten to know the game better and better. And oopsie. So Corvina is a pure DPS mage. That's how I spec her, and everything I've done is to maximize CDs, cooldown. So I basically have everything unlocked that maximizes my cooldown, or reduces it rather to the minimum. So just by using my staff, I can reduce it. Just everything oriented around damage, but only fire and electricity or lightning, storm. Solus handles some frost magic, but for the most, so same thing here. Wall of Fire is very useful, I found, for panicking enemies as a crowd control, and same thing, clean burn with the cooldown reduction, and it's been working out pretty well for me overall. You can't have everything, but she does good DPS damage, both with the staff and the spells, and the CD is quite low, as well as this. This is essential, the flashpoint. No frost, as you can see, except for Fade Step, which is kind of essential. Now, Varric, I've given him some powerful range abilities, obviously, because he's used Bianca. Pincushion, that's really nice. Cumulative damage bonus, progressively better. Explosive Shot knocks him on the ground. I might invest more in that. This is really powerful. So he's really good at DPS. I just got to keep him safe, and to that end, I've invested in this easy to miss, his threat reduction, stealth for extra damage, but also to get away, and knockout powder I use sometimes. I just invested in that in case enemies get close. I can take them out, put them unconscious, and then get out of the way. Just kind of giving you an update on the builds so far. Solus, as you can see, is very much a defensive mage. I have, maxed out barrier. Everything is the barriers for maximum strength. I have revival as an emergency, peaceful aura. So basically, he doesn't get attacked much. Mana surge, which goes well with the barrier. So I erect Winter's Chill, which is incapacitating this as well. Frost Mastery to make make the chill or the frozen effect last long. Fade Step. So yeah, he's a crowd control, and basically if there were healing magic, and that's a subject for another video, he's kind of a defensive mage for the most part. And then finally, Iron Bull, who is my my tank hybrid basically. So yes, he's got a lot of tanky stuff going. Let's see, have a look here. So he's got the shield. I mean, he uses sword and shield, obviously. I want to invest more in some of the offensive abilities. Shield Bash is quite good. It's got a nice radius. So he's pretty resistant to damage. But also, I invested at least in the beginning stages, at least for the AI, the grapple chain works really well. It's good for crowd control and drawing enemies in. He uses it pretty well. And then invested fairly heavily in this. Good for getting guard up. Charging Bull, literally, it's quite awesome to watch. I mean, the Iron Bull literally is the Charging Bull when he uses that. So yeah, that's really quite cool. And he's kind of a hybrid. I'm going to be investing in offensive abilities slowly but surely as well. And eventually, obviously, he's going to be a Reaver. But so he's a hybrid, but it works pretty well as long as he's got a barrier up. So yeah, let's get started and see.
We should search the area.
That's what we're doing. You can see what I mean. That Iron Bull looks really cool, even with the shield. The shield works really well with his outfit, and the sword looks cool too. So. And undead.
Careful. Disturbing the water draws them out.
You see that damage with just a one-handed weapon is pretty impressive.
This can't be all of them. There must be more further in.
So basically zombies. Doesn't look too bad for now, but I should avoid going to the water because apparently, as Corvina said, you enter the water, that's when they're triggered to come out.
Ah, these are the types of fights I love. Really? Every day back in Saharan, I waited for a dagger in the back. Is that civilian secretly working for the Vince? Or is she just scared because she's caught between us and them? Here, the bad guys practically have signs. It's so much easier.
Well, it is simpler, I'll give you that.
Is that a human? Some sort.
So he's pretty effective even with it, you can see. Although I need to shield him a bit more better. I'm not doing a good job. I mean, this is Nightmare after all.
Something is odd about those.
I totally messed that up.
But I cannot determine what.
So you can see he's a hybrid, but it works pretty well. I think it's Veilfire, if I remember right. Worried about what's going to happen now. That's what I thought would happen, for some reason.
Look out!
Now they're immune to panic. Ugh, these things. Frickin' hate them. Oh, Jesus. Come on, Bull, get the aggro off of me here. exactly why I do that. They seem to be vulnerable to fire. I mean, being undead, that makes sense. I don't know what Bull's doing here. These terrors, they're some of the worst enemies in the game. Get a barrier up on Corvina because of the terror. For whatever reason, that didn't work. This time.
Corpses out of the mud and fight on solid ground.
Keep an eye out for more then.
I'm not sure. This is what regen potions are good for. I'm not sure exactly, as long as I have enough elf root. I don't agree with with Iron Bull firm. Could be useful. Because I mean, I didn't get a reward for that, lighting the Veilfire. I just had to fight lots of enemies. It didn't really seem very sensible to me, but some nice stuff there. Yeah, I really like the setup I have for Iron Bull. It's counterintuitive, I guess, in a way, but better to keep the healing. I don't want to totally waste all the regen, but it looks like another one of these outposts. I don't really see the point in lighting the Veilfire per se, but maybe there is a point. I don't know. Let's see. Get one of our mages to do it. Oh boy. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of enemies. That's what I need the healing potions. Oh, poison. Shit. Luckily I have revival, which is the AI does a pretty decent job at that. Saw through me there, but he did. A book. Doesn't seem to be the right time to be picking up books right now, but get some barrier up here. Everyone got knocked down. They're immune to panic. Just my luck. You see, this is why you have to when you're playing against all these terrorists, you really have to micromanage everything. Nice crit. Nice bull. Nice. That didn't work there. Unfortunate. I need to crowd. Alive. Almost out of healing potions. Varric is completely down. I can do a double one because of flash. I think they're immune. These guys are immune to frost, but you can still freeze them. It's useful. Whew, that was quite the battle. I once again don't really see the point in lighting these veil fires. I'm getting XP for it, but I mean, it's at what cost? Apostate Weedress Journal. I need to press on though. I really like the Iron Bull in combat. He's really badass, especially as a sword and board guy. Works pretty well, as you can see. I have no idea where I'm going. Forward. There's something. Another cap. Perfect. Set up here. Influence growing. Okay, so yeah, by the way, so because of the rain and stuff, playing on these super high settings, I'm getting about 30 FPS right now. News. Okay, let's briefly check in here.
Word for you.
What is it?
See for yourself, sir.
Diseased tissue. Great. Okay. I think I'll leave it off for here, and I will see you guys next time. More exploration of the Fallow Mire, gaining XP, and seeing what's going on in the world. Thanks for watching. Been a pleasure as always. See you soon.